What does an entrepreneur do? An entrepreneur invests the least amount of resources to produce the maximum results in terms of profit. What does a crisispreneur do? Welcome to the last video in the series of Crisispreneurship of Time. In the last video, I spoke to you about compounding of time. And it was certainly one of the best of the 5 elements that I know. But this one is no less. Entrepreneurship of time. What we are going to be talking about is how does an entrepreneur use the minimum amount of time to get the best out of best results, best productivity, best profitability. So there are many techniques, but what I am today going to be covering is how do you get that mindset? How do you change the way you think about time? And that is every time I'm going to be investing my time into an activity, I just log down and see how much time did I take and what was my result. You can log it in an Excel sheet just to be able to compare that. Let's say, for example, I write a letter of 100 words or 200 words or whatever, 500 words. How much time did I take? And then I see how can I write a similar length of a letter, whether I automate, whether I delegate, whatever I do, but I manage to get the same result with lesser investment of my time. A little compounding effect comes when could you delegate it, could you automate it, which we have sometimes spoken about the focus funnel. And I think I will like to repeat that. So firstly, let's understand this focus funnel. This focus funnel is taken from Rory Vaden's book called Procrastinate on Purpose, and he also talks of it in his famous TEDx talk called How to Multiply Time. What the concept is that whatever tasks you have to do, you first examine them and see, do you need to do them or can you eliminate them? So the first step is elimination. Can I eliminate them? Are they contributing to my goals? If not, let me not do it at all. So eliminate. Now, if you can't eliminate, the second level is automate. Whether I use any app or I use any system, I use software to automate that process, that means the system takes care of it and I don't invest my time in it. Now, whatever you can't automate, delegate. Delegate to somebody in your team or even outsource it to somebody. So that is the third one. Now, if you can't do something, then I have to do it. When it comes to me, then the question I ask myself is, do I have to do it now or can I delay it? If the answer is as per your priorities, as per the value of that particular activity, can I put it off to next week? And the answer is yes, then that is what is called procrastinate on purpose.
I cannot look at webinar anymore
Why do you say so?
because they are all the same.
Let me help you. Everyone has become webinar and there's a reason for it.
I think because they're monotonous and boring. Something needs to be done.
Hey Jugesh, why don't you and I do something about it?
Well, we have been speaking globally, conducting high impact virtual engagement and doing it for years now. So I think we should do it. A 5-hour live masterclass on the art and science of effective virtual training.
and making profit from Hive and 4D framework. Join now. Now, procrastination is a bad habit, they say. Yes, if you are delaying something because you're not in a mood to do it, then yes, it is a bad thing. But if you procrastinate after deliberating that this thing can wait, even if I do it after 1 week, it's not hindering my work, it is not affecting my goals achievement, I can do that. And now you put it in that funnel and it comes back into the funnel starting from the top, that after a week you may find that that thing has lost its significance. For example, in the month of February, March, whatever goals we had set, by the time the corona environment put us into a lockdown, many of those goals had as it is lost their significance. So obviously they had to be eliminated. So if you had put them off for future, you would just eliminate. The second thing is now automate. So by now you may have found another app, found another software, found another way of automating. If no, then again try, can you delegate? And yes, by now, after a week, you may have found somebody in your team you can do it. You may have discovered that there's a way of a software which can take care of that or whatever. So outsource it, delegate it, whatever. And then fourth thing is again ask yourself, if I have to do it, do I do it now or do it later? If you have to do it now, then do it. If you have to do it later, again put it back into that funnel. So this is the way you will be able to focus and find out what you need to do now. Now what you need to do now, let's get back to the same thing, that you start logging that everything that you do, if there's no other way and you have to do it yourself, how can you do it more efficiently? And whether you learn typing to make it faster, whether you use a software like Transcriber or something, Transcriptor rather, you do anything like that to be able to to make a lesser investment of time to produce a better result. So any of these experiments that you do will lead you to entrepreneurship of time. Entrepreneurship of time is primarily a mindset, it's a way of thinking, it's an attitude. And if you can develop that attitude, it will be great. So looking forward to your interactions. Write in the comments below if you have used some of these tools or if you have an idea around it. It'll be really, really great for us to grow in this community of Time Investors League. So join us in this community of Time Investors League, and primarily this started with my book $1 Million Second, where I started this Time Investors League. Anyone who reads this book becomes a part of my Time Investors League. Anyone who does my workshop, my masterclass on CPOT, Crisis-Preneurship of Time, also becomes a member of the Time Investors League, right? So to know more about it, let us know. Do put in your comment, like the video, and let us go further in this journey of making this world a time-conscious world. Thank you very much for listening in.